What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to Wednesday evening's Anfield Agenda News Roundup. A quick reminder that we won't be live tonight for the late night agenda. We're taking the day off live streaming, but we will be here tomorrow for the Carabao Cup semi-final second leg against Spurs, and our coverage will start from 6:45. Obviously, the Reds trail by a 0-0 after the first leg, and Arne Slot will absolutely want to put that right and send the Reds to another cup final. So over the course of this video, I'm going to give you the latest from Arne Slot's pre-Spurs press conference. We're going to be asking, is Ian Wright correct with his assumption of who has the best squad in the Premier League? That and lots more over the next few minutes. But you know the score. We want to know your thoughts, so let us know in the comment section. Drop a like if you enjoy the video, but most importantly, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So let's start off with Arne Slot feeling that there should be a bit of a squad change in English football. Now, he doesn't think there should be more substitutions. He just thinks that everybody, the 23-man squad, should be able to be part of the matchday experience. Currently, 20 is the limit for the matchday squads, and Arne hates the fact that he has to leave out sometimes players like Federico Chiesa and Joe Gomez. The point that he made was that English football and the Premier League is probably the most grueling in Europe, and he thinks that managers or squads would benefit greatly from having the ability to have a 23-man squad instead of a 20-man squad on a match day. So let me know your thoughts on that one. Look, anything that improves player welfare perhaps, or gives the managers more options, I'd be for it. So let me know your thoughts. We've already seen recently, obviously, substitutions increase from 3 per game to 5 per game. So do you agree with the manager here that we should have 23-man squads on a match day and not 20? Let me know in the comment section. Right, next up we move on to Darwin Núñez, and The Athletic have said that Liverpool were contacted by an intermediary regarding a request from the Saudi Pro League to sign Darwin during the January window and rebuff those. Now, they may be open to selling him in the summer, as we've been mentioning, but you kind of ask them, where did some of the journalists that were commenting about a £75 million offer for Darwin, well, where did they get that one from, when it seems like here there was contact, but it never got to an offer stage? So let me know your thoughts on this one. What do you think Liverpool Football Club may be able to command regarding a fee for Darwin Núñez in the summer? And we discussed Isak last night on the late night agenda. I think it's a little bit far-fetched to see Liverpool spending what it would take. If my memory's right, Newcastle spent about £66 million, something like that, when they signed Isak from Sociedad. So I don't see them selling him from less than a pretty big markup, over 100 million. Will we be buyers at that number? Well, let's wait and see. Now we move on to Arne Slot's press conference today, and as I mentioned, he was speaking about Trent, and he said he's going to miss the game tomorrow. We're going to have to see if he's fit to play Sunday. You saw that on the pitch, he had a little bit of pain, that's why he misses the game tomorrow, but he is already on the pitch, not with the team, but with the rehab coach, doing some bits and pieces, which is great news for us. We did fear, certainly I feared, when we'd seen Trent request to be substituted, that we may have weeks without him. As we mentioned in last night's show, it's just going to be a matter of days, and if he's fit for Plymouth and the manager wants to use him, fair enough. But of course, all eyes will be on Goodison Park and the Merseyside derby next Wednesday. So a bit of an interesting development here with regard to the possibility of Premier League games ever going to the USA. Front Office Sports were speaking on Tuesday, and they were talking about the situation with games being moved abroad potentially, and Premier League Chief Football Officer Tony Scholes has, well, basically thrown cold water all over that idea. Said, we don't feel the need to come and play in the US during the season proper, and you'll understand the challenges that would present in the UK as well, he said during a media Q&A. So on this one, look, you go back to Tom Werner when he said he loved the idea of Liverpool or Premier League games taking place in the United States. We see La Liga looking to bring maybe even an El Clasico over there. But then you have John W. Henry saying that he doesn't like the idea of it. Now, I disagree with John on a lot of things, but on this one, I'm very much a firm believer that we shouldn't be taking games overseas for a Premier League season. There's already enough travelling for clubs. Let's not make it worse. So for me, I'm glad to hear that it's not on the agenda for games gone over to the United States or anywhere else for that matter, even though Tom Werner was talking about cheaper travel, cheaper accommodation for fans travelling over. It just feels rather unnecessary to me. Now, Alan Shearer has been speaking about Mohamed Salah and why he thinks it's very important that the contract situation for him in particular gets sorted. Let me take you through what Alan Shearer had to say. He said Arne Slot has been speaking about the contract situation with Salah, and the big question is, What's going to happen? I honestly haven't got a clue, said Mr. Shearer, what the hold-up is, why he won't sign. They've also got Trent and Virgil van Dijk in that position, but it's not affecting their play at this moment in time. Alan Shearer went on to say, I said a few months ago that when it hits January, February, March, as an elite athlete, you've got to be there all the time, but you're coming towards the end of your contract, and if you still haven't signed, there's this tiny bit of you that thinks, what if the worst happens here in terms of injuries? What their minds are thinking, you don't know, but it's not affecting them or Liverpool yet, said Alan Shearer. And look, I've said this all the way through. It's impossible for me to think that any human being doesn't suffer at the idea of not knowing where they're going to be next season, not knowing where their family are going to be living next season. And it is a weight on his mind. Mohamed Salah has spoken about this. So I very much do hope that we can get this contract situation sorted, because it cannot continue to go on. And you coming from a professional athlete there, or a top striker in Alan Shearer previously, saying things like, it's only human nature, players will worry, players will think what if. Surely the club realise this as well and want to put everybody's minds at ease. So let's hope that that report yesterday from Anfield Edition turns out to be true, that Virgil van Dijk and Mo have already signed, because that would very much make most of us very happy. Right, Ian Wright, going to move on to a little bit from him, and don't go anywhere, by the way, because the very last item I have for you today is an interesting one around injuries. So Ian Wright believes that Liverpool's bench is much better than Arsenal's. He said Liverpool's bench is so good when you look at what they've got to come off the bench, and that's the total opposite to what we have. Speaking about Arsenal, let me know, do you agree? I think Liverpool do have a good squad, particularly when everybody's fit, but I don't think Arsenal are too shabby either. They've had a lot of injuries this season and been unlucky in that regard, but also I like it. I like hearing that people think outside of Liverpool that our squad is good. So well done, Ian Wright, on that one. Now, to finish up today, I want to take you to the whole injury situation, because this season the Premier League has seen Brighton top the table for time lost and days lost through injuries. Spurs come in second on that list. By the way, Brighton had 28 days lost, or excuse me, 1,020 days lost, 28 injuries, I believe. Spurs, 783 days lost. Ipswich Town, 667 days lost. Arsenal, 648. But you can see how Ruben Peters has been working wonders with Arne Slot. Liverpool so far have only had 498 days lost through injury this season, which puts them on the lower half of this, which is good news. The team with the least injuries, or the least amount of days missed, was West Ham. Then came Nottingham Forest, which may give us an indication as to why they've had such a fantastic campaign. Forest only having 405 days missed through injury. Fulham, 417. Then comes Manchester United with 431, which is quite interesting when you think of the complaints about a lack of defenders available for them. To see them down there below us for having less injuries, I mean, kind of makes you think. But it does show that Ruben Peters and Arne Slot have been working wonders. I spoke to you guys when they were coming to the club to say that the availability rate of Feyenoord under Ruben Peters and Arne Slot was 90% and above for first team players. So you can see why, if you can get that right this season, prevent Liverpool picking up some more injuries in the run-in, how maybe we can finally have that end to the season that we've been hoping for the past few years. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it from today. I tell you what though, it's been nice not to talk about transfers on a video for once, so you're very welcome to join us tomorrow, 6:45, for the watch along of the Spurs game. Hopefully the Reds can book their place in another Wembley final. Tonight, obviously, there's going to be Newcastle and Arsenal taking their second leg. St James's Park, Arsenal trailing by 2-0 after the first one. Surely Newcastle won't let this one slip, and we will know who our potential opponents may be for that Wembley showpiece. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Appreciate your thoughts. Let me know in the comment section. Appreciate your support as well. Much love. Bye-bye.